So welcome to our latest video in our series of Q&As. Let's crack on. What would your essentials for your shoe collection be? Okay, great question. I think shoes are really important. And if you're starting out, like a lot of my customers are starting out in their sartorial journey, looking to get the essentials, the 3 pairs I always say you need would be a pair of good quality black Oxfords, in a calf leather so you can really polish up, a brown boot, maybe something like a Chucker or a Chelsea boot, and then a slip-on, maybe like a suede slip-on. I think those 3 shoes will give you shoes for most outfits, and it's a great basis to build your wardrobe into a larger collection. I think shoes are really important, and I think this has given us the idea to maybe do some more shoe content. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Should I wear linen in the fall or winter? I would say probably not, because if you're looking to wear linen, is quite a cool fabric, it's very breathable, it's great in the hot weather. In winter you're going to feel cold in it, so it's not very practical, and also it doesn't look very seasonal. I would say no, for fall and winter you're looking at tweed, corduroy, flannels. Keep linen for spring and summer. What are the most versatile shoe styles? I think for versatility in shoes, in the modern world, I would say very dark brown calf leather is really, really smart, but it lends itself more to casual outfits. So I would say something like maybe a dark brown hole cut with a bit of medallion on it, something like that. So I would say dark brown lace-ups in a calf leather are the ones you can put with a 3-piece suit and jeans and a chore jacket. Should you wear brown shoes with black trousers? I'd say no. I think if you're wearing black tailoring, the best colour shoe to wear is black. Sometimes I have seen it with a very dark red oxblood colour with a lot of black antiquing. Can look very sophisticated with a black suit, but generally if I'm wearing black tailoring, I'm wearing black shoes. Should I iron my ties if they have any creases? Absolutely not. If you iron a tie, you could damage the silk, and you'll also damage the interlining, and also a handmade tie particularly has a lovely shape to the edge, it's curved edges. You'll make it very flat and make it a bit shinier than it probably needs to be. So definitely don't iron your ties. How do you get creases out? The simplest way of getting a crease out is in between wearing it, is rolling them. Link to a video of how to do that right here. And then again, light steaming. If you get a stain on them, buy a spot cleaner to remove it. Dry clean it as an absolute last resort. Can you alter jeans or chinos? Yes, you can. If the inside leg of your trousers are too long, any competent tailor can shorten them to a desired length. You can't do much else really on the waist of a chino or jean, because they don't have really inlay in them like you do on tailor trousers. But if you need to get a bigger size, perhaps you've got quite athletic thighs and they're too big on the waist, they can have the waist reduced a little bit too. Can you wear a polo shirt with a blazer or even a suit? Yes, you can. I think it's a great look. I think the key to it is picking the right type of polo. So I'm looking for a long sleeve, fine gauge merino wool, maybe like a wool silk, maybe a very fine cashmere, rather than the more sort of tennis shirt type of polo shirt. And great with a blazer, and if you're confident enough, great with a suit too. How should I best store my ties? Okay, the best way of storing a tie is to have them rolled. So after wearing them, just roll them up and put them into a shallow drawer or maybe a small or a box. This way they return to their natural shape without getting creases in them. I prefer that to hanging, because hanging them means they can sometimes, the weight of the blade can sometimes distort the shape in the neck, particularly true for knitted ties. How can I tell if my jacket is too small for me? Well, a classic tell on that would be you can't button it up. So if you can't button up, it's definitely too small for you. If the jacket is pulling at all, so when you do the buttons up, you can do it up, you've got a lot of creasing at the front and maybe at the back, that's an indicator if it's too small. And if it feels tight, I think those 3 things are going to tell you that it's too small. If you're buying a suit or jacket off the peg, my general advice is always to take a size up if you're between sizes and have a tailor reduce it. And we actually do have a link to a video right here about how a suit jacket should fit. What's the most practical yet fashionable rainwear? Well, I think if you're looking for rainwear, practical comes before fashionable every time. If you're in an urban environment, the thing I recommend my customers to get is a dark raincoat, because If you're in London, for example, it's quite grimy, and I love beige and stone-coloured classic trench coats. They can get quite grimy if you're on public transport, so a dark raincoat is better. And the other thing about making it practical is a detachable lining. Invariably, when it's raining in London or in a city, it can be quite cold as well. So something to keep you warm as well is really, really good. So something which is going to be not too heavy, warm, water repellent, dark in colour, and long. Don't see the point of a short raincoat, because you get this soaking wet trousers. So a good long classic raincoat always looks practical. They're always very stylish, and in fact, and whether they're fashionable or not, it's up to other people to decide. Would you consider corduroy a stylish fabric? What does it work best for? Yes, corduroy is very stylish. It's a great colour vehicle. I think it works in colours that wouldn't look necessarily look good in worsteds or plains. Because of the texture, it means you can go things like rusty browns and reds. So it's great for colour. Always stylish. The cuts change, colours change, but I think corduroy is a perennially classic cloth. And what does it work best for? I actually like it more for jackets than I do for trousers. Although corduroy and cords are synonymous with trousers, I really like corduroy as either an informal blazer material, or better still, like a little workwear jacket, or as like a little chore jacket. I think it works great, or even an overshirt. Great for overshirts, great for filled jackets. So I think it's a really great smart casual material. How do you identify high quality fabric in a suit? Okay, that's a tricky one. Because you couldn't necessarily, is it because it's softer or is it lighter? Because some high quality wools will be really dry to the touch, some will be really soft, you get lightweights, you get different handles, some will be slightly matte, some will have a slight sheen to them. They're all high quality, so it's really hard until you've had some suits, maybe had some suits made, and you've got to realise what makes a good quality suit to actually what identifies it. I would say if you're new to tailoring and you're looking to buy a suit, make sure you're buying pure fibres, pure wools or wool and cashmere blends or wool and mohair blends. They will be on safer ground. If you go to a tailor, you're more likely to get better quality fabric because a tailor will only invest his time into making good quality wools. So yeah, so picking for names you trust, names that are well known, fabrics that just feel good. But ultimately what you need to answer yourself is, do I like it? Does it feel good when I wear it? And let your taste develop. So no quick answer to that, but I hope you found that useful. Are unstructured suits suitable for business wear? Short answer for that, yes, I think they're great for business wear. I tell a lot of my customers who are looking for a travel suit to consider unstructured because they make great travel suits, because when you're not wearing them, they fold smaller than traditional tailoring. However, I think if you want a really smart business suit, perhaps for presentations, perhaps for interviews, when you want to look your best, I still think a structured suit looks better. What is your personal preference regarding pick stitching versus a bluff edge lapel? Okay, well, to define that, on a tailored garment, on the edges of the lapel, you have pick stitching, which is either done by hand or a machine to emulate what the hand does, and it has like a slightly irregular stitch on the outside to help set the lapels. A bluff edge is just what we call it in the tailoring industry for no stitching. It's just plain and clean. I like both. It depends on the fabric. From my consulting point of view, I always tell my customers, pick what you like. There's no right or wrong here, indulge your own taste. But I do tend to avoid it on things like linen, because on a linen suit with pick stitching, it can look a bit untidy and it can cause the fabric maybe to over crease a little bit and look a little bit messy, particularly after a dry clean. So on cottons and linens, I prefer the bluff edge. And then on the other side, if it's like a really heavy flannel and it's really subtle and a nice texture to it, I think pick stitching just looks really elegant because you don't really notice it. My favourite type of stitching is when it doesn't scream out at you, you just notice it when you're very close by. So that's my answer. In your opinion, would you wear a sports coat with dress trousers? I think so. I mean, obviously, we need to define what we mean by dress trousers. I mean, if you mean like evening wear trousers, definitely not. I wouldn't wear that with a sports coat. But if you're thinking like actually exactly what I'm wearing now, which is a Prince Wales check trouser from a suit with a blazer, definitely, I think it's a really smart look. Can you wear a tie and a suit with an Oxford cotton shirt? Absolutely yes. Great look. Very classic. Yeah, looks brilliant, particularly if it's got a button-down collar Oxford shirt. tie suit, great look. How do you layer effectively without adding bulk? That's a great question, because in the winter when it gets really cold, we put these layers on, you can feel quite uncomfortable and you can't move your arms because you've got thick jumpers on. So one of the things I would say to start with is fine gauge knitwear. Fine gauge knitwear is still very warming and very insulating, but without the bulk. So I think like a fine merino roll neck is a great thing to have. And then have multiple layers. So sometimes I like to layer a piece of knitwear underneath maybe a soft flannel shirt, and then finish off with maybe like a slightly chunkier pea coat. So you've got lighter layers you can remove and add as and when you're going inside or outside, but nothing's too thick and bulky. One of my favourite things for layering in winter, if you can find them, is a fine gauge roll neck with a chunky cable knit collar. It's really good because you get that lovely old fashioned chunky cable knit look, but underneath your blazer it's a fine gauge, so you get the comfort and the movement, but you've got the attitude and the swagger of the chunky knit. I've heard that having working cuff buttons on a suit jacket is a signifier of it being better quality. And to define what we mean by working cuffs, it means that the buttons on your sleeves, like I have here, the hole is actually a working button hole, and you can unbutton it. This is quite a thick button, so it's quite stiff. There we go. So you can leave it unbuttoned. So yeah, that can be seen as a sign of a better made suit. Sadly not. You can add that onto a badly made cheap suit for not a great deal of money. So we're talking single digit dollars to add it onto a ready-made suit. So it isn't by itself a signifier of a well-made suit. I've seen better suits without working cuff buttons than I have, so yeah, it's sadly not. It's a nice attention to detail, and if you like it and you're happy, if between two suits one has it and you really like it and the sleeves fit you, definitely go for it. It's a nice attention to detail, but no, it doesn't mean the suit's going to be amazing quality. What is your opinion on black suits? Okay, good question. Probably something I could do a longer video on, but my short answer is I like them. I think a black suit can be very cool in the right context. It has a style about them. I don't think they're great for conservative business dress. So my customers who want to be conservative and traditional, I steer them away from black and into charcoal and navy. But black, yeah, it can be quite cool. I think black is quite iconic. It's a difficult one to wear. I think it's not an easy first option. But if you're stylish, yeah, I think a good black suit is a nice thing to have. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my answers. If you have any questions yourself, the best way of getting them to us is to join our mailing list. There's a link below, and email me your question. That gets you top of the pile for the next round of the Q&A. Any comments on my answers, put them below, and don't forget to subscribe.